Ireland is the third most indebted country in the world per head of population. So why is Taoiseach Leo Varadkar asking the EU to share their collective debt with us? This is Ben Scallan and you're watching Gript Media. Taoiseach Leo Varadkar raised eyebrows last week when he urged fellow EU leaders to consider mutually sharing their debt incurred by the coronavirus pandemic. This came following a suggestion by some member states who want the EU to issue corona bonds that all EU nations will be obliged to pay off. Now, Ireland is a tiny country. It's highly unlikely that we would incur more debt or spending costs than our larger European neighbours like Italy or France. Yet, judging by Taoiseach's suggestion, Ireland's biggest problem is that we don't have enough debt of our own. So much so is this a problem that Mr. Varadkar seems to think we should import debt from our bigger European neighbours. In his view, we can't get enough of the stuff. Now, as it stands, Ireland has a national debt of roughly 200 billion euros. This amounts to around 90,000 euros per individual worker in the Irish economy. What that effectively means is that you and everyone you know has tens of thousands of euros in public debt hanging over your head whether you know it or not. And yet for some reason our leader wants to add to that. As mentioned previously, Ireland is the third most indebted country in the world per capita. Due to the failures of successive Irish governments who for years played fast and loose with the public's money, we as a nation have amassed a cripplingly high debt which our children and descendants will likely be paying off for generations. This manifests in all kinds of ways that negatively affect your life every day. For example, every euro of your tax money that goes towards the debt is a euro not being spent on services that you care about. Over the past 10 years, Ireland has paid 60 billion euros in interest alone on our national debt. 60 billion is enough to pay for 4 all-Ireland motorways, which would dramatically improve people's lives and reduce their commute times. That money could have paid for 10 years of free public transport for the entire population. It could have bought 30 children's hospitals or 300,000 publicly owned houses. Whatever your thoughts are on tax and excessive government expenditure, if we're going to be splashing out 60 billion euros in a decade, I think most people agree they'd rather that money be spent at home to benefit the people who pay the bills. Ireland's debt is simply unsustainable. We were by far the worst hit European country in the bank bailout, with the EU's troika imposing an unpayable 64 billion euros of German and French bank debt on the Irish public. We were used as a piggy bank by Brussels and essentially relegated to the status of debt slaves for our European masters. So why on earth would any Irish leader want to adopt even more debt on our behalf? Even at a moment of crisis, our caretaker leader would rather be a good European than a good steward of the Irish economy. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please support us by donating via the link in the description below and sharing this video with your friends. Thanks for watching.